and you can really record a video and help you to number, right?
Ah, yes. So there's many ways that will help you to do. Okay.
Hard.
We're going to take a note. In your notebook, I want you to write down flowcharts. Okay? So write down 4.3b flowcharts. We're in algorithms. Flowchart will be in what part of the learning cycle there, Wendy? We have analyze, design, code, test, and maintenance. Whereabouts is flowcharts? Is it in analyze, design, code, Nali into the programming cycle?
I think it is the design.
Yes, you're right. This is in the second part. We have design. Now, Floss, whereabouts the test table? Test table. Whereabouts that is in the design process? Right here. Yes, we have coding, and then right here we have testing. In testing, we have 那个 test table. 这个就是复习，你不需要 copy. This is just what we already know, 对不对? Okay. Now we also have on this piece of paper. 我们还有什么东西? What is the name of this? There, check. What is the name of this toucan? This is called what? Check.
State transition.
Diagram. What part will the state transition diagram be in? What do you think there, Ched? The state transition toucan. Well, we have analyze, design, coding, testing, maintenance. What part will so design we have is in flowcharts. Anytime you're going to plan something, we draw a little toucan or a picture. And so in here we also have the state diagrams. Agree or disagree? Right? Any kind of toucan before you do the coding will be in here. Okay? Right now we're going to be doing this. We've already done the test tables check. We did the state check flowchart. I'm just gonna, so today we're going to create a flowchart for an algorithm. Okay, quickly, Wendy, what is an algorithm? That's it. Algorithm, what does it mean?
It is like the rule or the steps for solving a problem.
Yeah. It's solving a problem using some tasks, okay? Solving a problem, an algorithm is to do a function, to do a routine. We use an algorithm to do it. It has some step. It's a series of steps, okay? And again, we have the different symbol. I'm going to ask Floss, what is this symbol here? What does this symbol do? Do you remember?
Instruction.
Okay, what type of instruction? What kind of code? 不是. Input or output is this guy. If he has these kind of box,我们学过吗? 还是第一次看? This is called a subroutine 还是 function. Okay? So in your notebook, do you have? 有没有? Can you look back in your notebook? Do we have the symbols of flowchart? It was the very first day. Do we have there, Wendy? 有没有? We have right here. But we were missing subroutine. 我们少了那个 subroutine. 我们写. So check in your notebook if you're missing. The arrow means flow. If you have the rectangle, this is input or output. Okay? Or variables. When you're doing the variables. If it has these kind of square thing, this is like a function or process, function or procedure. Okay? This is the new. Can you add this guy? I don't think we had it in our picture last time. Oh, sorry. This is, I did it wrong. Input, output is the parallelogram. Okay, this is input, output. This one is for doing the variable or the math function. Okay? This is the if statement. And this is for the end or start. Okay? Can you just update your notes if you don't have these symbols? Okay?
It sounds like
对, just the picture. Arrow, we already wrote down. 我们 copy 多了. Okay, just copy now. Did you add that to your table? 我看一下. Okay, 挺好. And so we have. I'm going to erase my dog. Does anyone have a dog at home?
yes.
You have a dog? Wow, you have dog, you have birds, what else do you have?
A cat and a lizard.
A cat and a lizard, wow. Sounds like a zoo. Okay, flowchart, we have arrows to show the flow. Okay, the box, what does the box represent there, Floss? What does the box represent? Yeah, that's a process. This is, what do we call it? In, out, input, output. Wendy, what does the diamond do?
It does.
It's the if, else case, all that stuff. And oh yeah, 那个新的 one is this one. This is called function. But so Chet, I have just put the symbols right here. You can look here. 看这边? You can copy this. Okay, I'm going to go down. We don't need all that. I have the success criteria. This is an example of a flow chart. You have to be able to fill in a flow chart. I also give you a flow chart that we're going to be working on today. Now, how do I get the marks on the, if I ask you to do flow chart, what is the very first success criteria there, Wendy? What is the very first? I'm going to give you 1 mark. When you draw your flow chart today, what am I looking for? What do you need to do to get the first mark?
Correct symbols.
What does that mean?
Like,
Here's my flow chart. Do I have the correct symbols here? Yes or no?
I cannot see it.
Does he have any symbols?
Yeah.
Look at the boxes. Yes. And so the very first thing is these boxes are even. You're using the correct thing. If it's a function, 你需要那个 function 的图片。对还是不对? If it's a ruler, you must do this. You can't use that. You must use this. So you get 1 mark to know these symbol shapes. Okay? If it's setting a variable, it must be square with a rectangle. 对还是不对? And so the success criteria. This is what I'm looking for when I'm going to look at the thing. The very thing is your symbols. You must know these symbols. Okay, Ched, what is the next thing to get the mark for the flowchart? What is this thing, Floss? What am I looking for? I'm looking, do you have the correct arrow? Because the arrow can do 2 ways. It can go this way or this way. I'm looking the flow of the arrows. 这个是加1分. Okay, so the second thing I'm looking for is your arrows are correct. Chad, what is the third thing that I'm looking for? What is the third thing that I'm looking for right here?
Correct notation.
What does correct notation mean? What does notation mean there, Wendy? Notation. Correct notation. 什么意思? So 现在我有那个 arrow, 我有那个 symbol. What is the correct notation?
like you follow the code that the question given.
That's right. It makes you follow the code notation. 对不对? It uses the correct syntax. For example, set this. These are called notation. It means that you actually 你需要写 You need to write the code inside the box. And then last thing is you must, even though you write something here, it doesn't mean it's correct. And so the last thing is it must be the correct everything there, you get the 4 marks. And so you have to be able to draw a flowchart, and you also have to be able to fill in a flowchart. Okay? So that's I'm going to write down, what is the 第三步 their flash 我需要干什么? After I have my symbols and arrows, what is the third thing I have to have?
The instruction
in the boxes, right? It has the code notation, right? That's the input value 东西, and then it must be correct. It must be correct. If you can have it, 但是有可能是错了, and then you won't be 不是满分. Okay. Can you guys see that okay? Can you guys see that okay? I think that this is in your notebook. 有没有? I want you to, that guy? 有没有? Do you have this? Yes, right here. 看这边. Is it the same there? I want you to 开始. 如果你会, you can to 开始 do. Okay? I'm going to show this example, but if you already know how to do flowchart, you can 学一下. So we're on this problem right here. 准备好了? Okay? So I'm going to show an example, and I'm going to do one flowchart. If you want to work along, you have the worksheet right there. 你可以, when I write here, you can copy or you can 现在可以试一下. I want you to 自己读一下. I'm going to give 1 minute. What is it? You需要读, this is the code algorithm, and then you need to 画画 flowchart. Okay? I want you, you can have a try. So what I want you to do is this 读一下, and then I will show you the answer. Okay? 现在读一下. Take some time. And I will put the success criteria. We need to have the correct symbols. You need to have the correct flow. So you need to have the correct flow. The arrows. The third thing we need to have is the correct code notation inside the box. It's just like using English or pseudocode, and it must be correct. Okay. These are the steps for doing our thing. So we have to be able to go from an algorithm to this kind of picture here. Let me know when you finish reading it. Just have a read. And then we're going to take up the answer. 读好了吗? Okay. 继续. I will take up the 答案 and we'll count. Take a look at it. Did you finish reading?
Yeah, but not understand.
So, 现在我们不需要会，现在我教 Okay? Now, the first thing that we're given is this algorithm. First thing is we need to read and understand the algorithm. Okay? So let's have a read. It says, we need to have 100 integer values, one at a time. Okay? And so we probably have to have a variable to count. Okay? So we need to have some sort of count. 你可以写一个 count. Okay? Because we need to have a counting variable to get that. So 现在写 anything I write on here there, Chad, you just copy down. I'm going to show you this example and then you do. 写 count. Now, the second line, store the very first value input into the first location of an array. So we need to have an array. So we're going to have an array called number, and we can show arrays with this box. So we need to have an array. This algorithm has already been decomposed. That's why we have these little dots. It's more like steps. Store the next input value into the next unused location of the array. Okay? Output the contents of the number in the opposite sequence that it would of those values were inputted. And so normally when we have a number index, you can put items in here. For example, it's going to be integer, 100 integers. So for example, I have 2, 5, 3, 2, 4, 6, done. And I have e by the number. Agree or disagree? So the very first thing is we need to get input. So let's go and find out what symbol is for input. So the very first thing is we, from start, how many inputs do I need there, Floss? How many inputs do I need? We need 100. And so what you can do is I'm going to have, the very first thing I'm going to do is a little process. I'm going to say my count variable is equal to 100. Okay? So I need to count 100 numbers. And then I need to get, I'm going to put an if statement. Okay? If, actually I need to draw a little bigger if statement. Because I need to get 100 numbers. Okay? So if my count, let me rechange the color. If my count variable is, if you're using Python, if it's less than 101, okay, I use the diamond. That's not, okay. If this is true, what do I need to do there, Wendy? If
it is true, reverse number is open.
oh, we need to get the input. We need to get an input here too. So it's okay. There's actually more than one way to draw this. You can get an input here, right? Right here you can get number. But I think that it would be better to put that at the very beginning of the function. Okay? So I'm going to put this in here. Let's get the, we have to keep on getting the number. It's okay. So we have count is equal to 100. We're going into the function. We need to loop around to get the input. So we can put it right here. I'm going to zoom out. I'm a little bit messy on the computer. We're going to get input number. We need to get a number. 对还是不对? And then in here, I'm going to put an if statement. If my count I think I can put my count as 0. If my count, let's set this to 0. If my count is less than 101, if this is true, what I need to do is I need to put this into array, because you need to put in the number, we have numbers. You're going to have all your numbers up to 100 numbers, whatever those numbers are, we need to store it in here. Okay? And you need to do this 100 times. So right here, if this is true, I can do a process. I'm going to store the number in the number array. Number, I'm just going to call this num. I don't think we should have, yeah, inside right here. Okay, and this will be the input. Let's just double check if it told us what the name of the input is. Input 100 enters one value at a time. Store the very first input in the location and array number. It didn't say what the input variable's name is, so we can use whatever we want. So I'm just going to say input num instead of number, because you can't have the same variable name. Okay, this is num. Okay, so after I have stored that, I need to loop around. How do you show a loop? You're going to, after this, you need to increase number, okay? And then I'm going to loop back here, okay? So, and instead of count, we just can call count. I guess instead of number, we can call it count. That's probably better. Let's call this count. Increase count. Count. Increase count. Okay. So we have it here, increase count, and then we have our number. Oh, this should be this number. This should be num. Okay, let me explain this code right here so far. What is this code doing? Well, first we have a variable called count because we need to count 100 times. And then we have to get an input of a number. You can use any diagram that you want, okay? Because he didn't tell us what we have. If the count is less than e by e, it's going to store it into number, okay? And then we need to increase the count number because we need to have 100. And this is the loop that goes back. Do you have something you want to show there, Floss? Wendy, do you have? Can you have? Good. Okay, 你可以继续做，有第二步。You just keep on loop, okay? And then you can keep on loop, okay? Chet, do you have it? Do you have this like that?
Is this correct?
Can you see the logic of this flowing chart? 你懂吗？
不太懂。
不太懂。Why do I have 101 here? Do you understand why this is 101?
Because there's an input 100 integers.
对。So that's why we have 101 because that's going to get 100 times. 对不对？ So 如果 the count number, right now we count at 0. If we're starting at 0, this should just be e by. It shouldn't be e by e. So my logic is not correct. Just put e by. Because if I count 0 to 99, how many numbers is this there, Ched? 0 to 99 is how many numbers?
100.
That's 100. And so this should just be e by. Okay? Now, if we scroll up to the top of the question, it says input 100 integer values one at a time. When we finish that, I'm gonna put a check that I finished. Right? Can you check? 这是成功。你 check 一下。Put a little check that we finished that. 第二步, can you read there? Store the first value, input into the first location. Oh, the second step. Can you check off the second step that we already finished that? 你 check 一下。第二步, store these two steps we finished.
Store the first value input to the first location.
We already store it right here. We did that. So give it a check. Okay? The third step is we need to store the next input value in the next okay, we did that. We did that. The last step, so we're 第四步, output the contents of number in the opposite sequence that it was stored in. Okay, so let's scroll down and finish our table. Okay, so now we have 100 numbers inside our array. Now what we have to do is we have to output them in the opposite order. Okay? So let's continue. If the count is 101, it's going to come down here. Okay? I want you to write 101. And then what we're going to do is we need to count down to 0. Draw if statement again. So this is my count variable. So what we can do is in here, write if count, let me think. We have to go right down to 0. So you're gonna have to start subtraction. If count is bigger than 0, okay? Then we're going to continue over here. Okay? So in here, what we're going to do is we need to output what it looks like this guy. We're going to output the array in the opposite direction. Output number. And then in here is count. Okay. So count 101. Oh, so we actually have to change this to decrement by 1 because he doesn't have this. So in here we need to set count equal to 100. Okay. Set count equal to, but if you're going to 0, I think in pseudocode it would be 100. In Python, it would be 99. Okay? And so if it's greater than 0, oh no, yes, 99. If it's in Python, 99 is going to be the last one. So right here, I'm going to have to decrease this by 1 if it's greater than negative 1. Okay? So as it's going through, we're going to output this. We need to decrease count. All right? This is a process, and then we need to loop down right here, and then this is the end. Okay, I wrote mine in Python. I think the example they did was in pseudocode. Okay, so basically, do you have something similar, Floss, Wendy, everyone? Do you have something that you store it into the number? Yes or no?
I think we have different steps.
Will it give you the same logic? Do you increase some sort of count? 요미요.
Yes. I equals to I plus 1.
Okay, I will have a look at your code there.
Okay.
And this is what they did. Okay, this is their logic. But I did it in pseudocode. It's a little bit different because I used 101 and they used pseudocode, and so they checked if it's 0, but I did -1. But both the logic should be okay. Okay, so have a look at your answer. Have a look in your answer and see if it's similar. Okay, let me have a look at your answer. So we have count, and then true, false, looks okay. Count plus, very good. 听好了. Good, you have that input. But you can, this one is not correct because you can only input one at a time. You can't, it says input, oh, this is a different one. We can't talk, we're here.
Cancel.
We can't do this. 我们需要一个 loop. Okay? You should, okay. Have a look at the thing there. This won't work here. You can't just write reverse number. 我们没有一个 function called reverse number, 对不对? You have to use the Python shell. So how to reverse the thing is you get a variable, you count it, you have to increment one at a time. 你不可以说 reverse. 不会. You have to actually use the coding shell. Can you guide that your code? You right here, do you understand this part? What does this part do? Okay. He count to 0到100, and then he found the number into an array. Do you know what an array is? An array is a list that stores a whole bunch of things. For example, array, you click on 100 to go to. This is called an array. So I have 100, so this part, meaning that it goes input or function input, because it will increase the number. This is null. I just increase the wager, increase. And then after I print, which you'll value going backwards, and that's why this is increase, 但是我需要减一，这就是 decrease the count， 我需要减，因为 I have to count backwards, okay? And then this goes up down here, okay? Good. So I want you to read the second problem and then have a try and go on to that. Okay, good? Great. Now, I want you guys to have a look here. I'm going to come and talk to you, but I want you to figure this, and I will help you do this here. Okay? Can you turn to this one again?
That's fine.
Yeah. Go ahead. The second thing that we have to be able to do is fill in a flowchart. This is a little bit more easier. Do we have this or don't have it? Only Yomi will Mail. Okay, so we can, let's copy this down here. I want you to draw that picture here. See this picture right here? Do we? Yes. Okay. Can you draw this on your blank paper? draw this diagram, and then what we're going to do is, from our algorithm, we're going to fill in this table. Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of time to copy that down. Just somewhere on your piece of paper, so again, I want you to find the coupon. Do we have that coupon? I don't know. Oh, you already did. Well, this is DRT.
So the number is too small, I don't see. 太小，看不见。
你只有画那个图片，不是那个东西。
I know the 图片里面。
图片里面现在不是。
Give me this.
Yeah, let's see. Do you get it similar? Ah, whammy.
Huh?
Oh, why do you have to sign that in? 哦，那个想法有点不对。这个是对。You have right now we can do it out. So 最后一个不需要一个如果 because 它没有true false, so 可以查到，明白？ Because when you're trying to find the biggest number, you can go else. Else 不需要一个如果，明白？因为这个有点浪费一个 part of code。因为 if you have 三个东西 you only have 两个如果 so you can 查到一个。Okay, that's why you have 两个如果。Okay. Yeah, 挺好的。
I have free time.
No, we're working on this. If you finish there, Wendy, what I want you to do is you draw the flowcharts. When you finish this paper, then you can use the computer. Right now it's working fine. Okay, everyone has that? So this is actually on your, okay, do you have that picture there? You can continue on their class. You can do Disanti and then Disit. Okay, we're just drawing. Okay, 准备好了? You have all these. So on a test paper, sometimes they'll give you the flowchart where you have to write the logic. So inside this bubble, right now you can't really see it, but it's input num1, num2, and num3. Can you write that? This is here, okay? So in your little box, these are the input. Clear, Mom? So what we need to do is we have an algorithm that will input 3 numbers. 1, 2, 3. We already got the input, so give a check. We have finished the input part. So you don't need a check. You can put a little check on this little box, okay? It needs to assign the largest value to a variable called ANS, okay? It needs to be able to output a message given the largest value and the average. So we need to have an average value, okay? Assume that the values are different sizes. Okay, so this part right here is this. We need to find 2 things. There are 2 things that we need to find. What do I need to find? I need to find the biggest number. I have 3个 number. I need to find out the biggest. So write down, I need to find, this is to decompose this problem. I need to find the biggest. The second thing I need to find is the AVG. Do you know what the AVG is? Stands for average. Do you know what average is? Do you know how to average? Do you know what this means to find the average?
Average like everything will same.
Yes. So average, if I have second number, I have num1. If I add up each of the numbers plus num3, and I divide by 3, this is the 数学 for the average. Okay? 举个例子, if I have your grades, I have 3个考试, if I add up the total, 然后除3, 这个 will give me the average number. Okay? So, let's first work on finding out the biggest number. Well, what we can do is we have 3 numbers we need to compare. In here we say, if num1 is bigger than num2 and num1 is greater than num3, what does this mean? 如果 I have 10 and this is 2 and this is 4, if number 1 is bigger than this and this, it means that num1 is the biggest number. Okay? 如果 num1 比 num2 大和 num1 比 num3 大，最大的 number 是 num1、2还是3？ What do you think? I have 3个 number. 如果 if number 1比 num2 大，什么 number 是比大 ？num1 还是 num2？ 对，和 num1 比 num3 大，什么 number 是最大
num1.
对 So in here we say the biggest one is equal to num1. Okay? Being mad?
Okay.
The second step, we need to compare. If num2, because we have to figure out 最大的 number. If num2 is bigger than num1, and num2 is bigger than number 3, what is the biggest number? What is the biggest number in this case? Wendy, no computers, thank you. You have work to do. Listen.
Okay.
What is the, remember we talked about ABC? Ched, if num2 is bigger than num1 和 num2 is bigger than num3, 最大的 number 是
num2.
It's num2. 对，你写 num2.
Okay.
If these are two, if num1 is not the biggest or num2 is not the biggest, what is the most biggest number?
num3.
Yes. So right here we say that the biggest number is number set. And so we have finished the biggest number algorithm. And the second last thing that it said was the average. We need to calculate the average. How do I calculate the average? The average is num1 plus num2 num3 divided by that. So we just have to write down here. We have to write the ABG is equal to num1 plus num2 plus num3 括号除3. This does a calculation to figure out the average of the 3 numbers. And then the last thing is, it says to print a message, and it gives it. So out here we're just going to put output, ABG, and the biggest one. Okay, it should have some text there, but that's the idea. Cool. So that's it for flowcharts.
Output, let me have a look at output.
Okay, I'm just going to stop here.